יהי רצון למי פי ויגון לגבי לפני אבנת וגולים. ברוך ה' אלוהינו אמן ואמן.
Trzeba musisz tam 2 litry wina.
We're in Prague in the Spanish synagogue. I don't know what all the beefing is about. The women's section clearly has the better view. Even an organ up here. We're still upstairs in the Spanish synagogue in the women's section. Now this is one big Torah crown. Unfortunately, this is part of what the Nazis put together to be historical Jewish worship objects. Still in Prague, this is the Maisel synagogue. We are in Terezin, and this is the main square of what used to be the Jewish ghetto. The building we're looking at now is a former boys' school, now a museum, and on this side is where the girls' school was.
This one, they were big and furnished like this cell, and the beds were straw mattresses, but straw fell down and prisoners didn't get food, so they slept on.
Yeah, the bridge on the right hand side, the former entrance of the Jewish ghetto. So behind this gate door, so there used to be some more offices of the SS guard, so these yellow buildings behind this bridge or behind the gate door. So there used to be the barracks for men, and now we are going to drive a little bit more around the town of Terezín, and so I will speak a little bit more about the history of these buildings. So once more, the museum of the Jewish ghetto on the right hand side, so we have been there, we had a school for boys, and so the building next to that on the square, the school for girls. So the girls, they were learning how to work in these bakeries, in the kitchen, but there used to be some more work tasks, like for instance they had to repaint some of these uniforms into white color for the fighting in winter. So once more, this red building on the right hand side, so it used to be the hospital sanatorium. So this building was restored after the end of the Communist Party, so some handicapped people are living here. And now these houses on this side of the square, so there are two shops here at the beginning of the square. So there used to be shops here during the Second World War, but like I have mentioned, so all of these shops were empty. And so there used to be some more offices there on the square, also some more offices of the SS guards, and in the case that some of these prisoners, the Jews, did something wrong against the regime here, so they got some isolation cells in the cellar of these buildings. This huge yellow building on the left hand side, it is the Magdeburg barracks. So the women were staying here in the front part of the building, and the second part of the building some more paintings, yeah, the sheets of music, yeah, painted, composed by the artist staying here in the Jewish ghetto. And the second half of the building, there are some more offices on the hand side. In a minute on the left hand side, so it was prolonged to this place, but before the end of the Second World War, so this railway was cut off by the prisoners. So now we are leaving the Jewish ghetto for a minute, again some more mold, and so there are some more rooms built into the surrounding walls. So on the left hand side, the so-called columbarium, on the right hand side the Christianity hall and the Jewish hall, the ceremonials hall. For instance, these dead bodies from the Jewish ghetto, but from the prison of the from the small fortress, it was kept here like in the morgue, so ready for the transport to crematory. So now the crematory was built behind the Jewish ghetto because the cemetery, this area was very wet, so they couldn't bury more people here. So something like 8,000 people were buried here in the cemetery. And so then the